Alright guys, welcome to the video. So we're going to be doing a game today in the Leopard. I'm showing you this game on Fjords, and I've been having a difficult time marking this tier 5 Leopard, man, for whatever reason. I put this 5 centimeter gun on it, and I found that it's been a lot better for me personally. It's kind of like with the AMX ELC, right? I marked it with the 75 millimeter, but I would think that the 90 millimeter gun is the better choice, especially if you're going to learn how to play the tank properly. It's no different than with the Leopard, right? The Leopard with the 3 centimeter, the proper gun choice would be the meme, trollish 3 centimeter machine gun. However, the way I play, I prefer to mark my tanks with the most standard gun. And I was trying to mark this thing for a while with the 3 centimeter. I was doing very well. It's just the 3 centimeter, it's too inconsistent, right? It's very good at what it does if you're able to get these brawling maps where you can kind of like dive in, shoot someone for like 350 damage in the side, hope you light them on fire because you're putting 12 shells into the side of their tank, right? And you do module damage as well, and it works really well. I was doing almost the same amount of damage with the 3 centimeter as I'm now doing with the 5, but I just found that there were too many games where if I had the 5 centimeter, I could be doing so much more damage. And again, it comes down to playstyle. I don't want you guys thinking like, oh, well, because Whirls said this is the better gun, then this is the better gun. Like, it really comes down to playstyle. There are some tanks that have one gun that is just arguably better, but realistically, like the 3 centimeter is a really good gun on this tank. No different than with the AMX ELC. It's just kind of one of those situational things, right? And from what I find, because of the way I play my light tanks, I'm always better off having the standard gun on these, all these light tank vehicles. So that's why I tend to drift towards the standard guns. But the 3 centimeter, again, I'm not saying it's a bad gun. It's just, it's more inconsistent when you're trying to play the way I play my lights, right? And I don't want to have to play the tank hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of battles to relearn a play style for one specific tank. So that's why I choose to just mark it, make things easier for myself and put the standard gun on it. But once I'm done marking this vehicle, again, I think I'm at 94% right now, I'm going to go back and run the 3 centimeter for a number of games, probably just because I want to enjoy myself again, right? Because it is the fun gun on the tank when you can get into a situation where it works well. The problem I'm having with it is being like 300 meters away and trying to shoot those little like 3-round bursts, and like 8 of them ricochet and like maybe 2 of them pen and 2 of them miss or whatever. You know what I mean? It's just like, the gun is just so bad at anything more than medium range, whereas with the Covenanter has that 400 meters of range. You could still hit people from like 300 meters out reliably. You shoot the 2 shells, wait like a second, and then shoot 2 more, and you could hit like every shell. So I thought that because I was really good at the Covenanter, I'd be really good at this thing with the 3 centimeter, but just wasn't the case. So we're going to watch this retreat on Fjords. Before I do so, though, I want to show you one thing, and that was this poll that we did. So we had almost 100 votes, 99 votes. So what I'm going to do is, with these percentages, this is basically the amount of people that selected each option, because it's 99 votes, right? If you guys understand what I'm saying. So we were talking about fast forwarding. It seems like around 36 people voted for fast forward through the boring parts, whereas only 26 of you said don't fast forward, and then 34 of you said no preference. So what we have here is pretty much 2/3 of you saying that fast forwarding is okay, or you don't care either way. And then you have the other third that's saying don't fast forward, or start the video at the important part of the game and don't fast forward. So skip the first part of the video where it might not be as informative to the viewer, right? So what I'm going to do, because of this poll, is if I have to fast forward, I'm going to do it at no more than 4 times, right? 2 times or 4 times. I feel like this is the best way to get basically the best of both worlds, so that we can attract and retain the most viewers, right? But again, keep in mind, the point of my videos is to show you guys light tank content specifically, and informative light tank content, not just sitting in a bush. You've seen that a million times, right? I want to get to the parts of the video that are going to help you guys out the most. And In order to do that without the video being 20 plus minutes long, oftentimes what I will do is fast forward, right? Now, when I do fast forward, I like to zoom out so that it doesn't make you guys dizzy and you're not following me. You're just looking at the map basically and the overview. So when I do fast forward, I'm going to try and keep it slow and still, talk to you guys and do my informative overview, but we're going to try and not go quite as fast, right? And I think this way we can maybe not make those people that don't want to see the fast forwarding not quite as upset, right? If you understand what I'm saying. And then the people who don't care, I mean, it doesn't matter either way because we will fast forward. And then when I'm talking about important parts of the game, I will be on 1 times. And I'm also going to try and not pause as much, though pausing is really, really helpful for me because I'm able to draw, right? Like use the arrows and show you guys certain things on the map by pausing. And it gives me a much larger window to explain why I'm doing what I'm doing, which again is the whole point of my channel. The point of my channel is not to just show you guys hand-picked games or replays so I can tell you that I'm a good player, right? It's to show you guys how to be a good player yourselves. So to me, there's no point in just leaving the video on 1 times and trying to catch up with my words to talk about what I want to talk about in the game. Otherwise, you could just go watch content, right? Without me even being on the corner over here, right? So the whole point, guys, is I'm telling you, I know that some of you have a preference, but there are certain ways that I'm going to have to pause or have to fast forward a little bit in order to keep the video short and also to explain everything I need to explain in a certain time, right, of the replay. So it kind of goes both ways. We want to get to the really important formative part, but then I have to slow it down even more sometimes to explain everything and basically tell you guys what I'm thinking and why I'm thinking it. So I feel like I'm having a difficult time explaining all this, but hopefully you guys are, with me and you understand this. But I wanted to do this poll so that I can determine how much I can kind of stretch what I do when I record the video. So instead of going 16 times and flying through it, we'll go to 4 times. We'll go to 4x instead, and I think it will help out those people a little more that do not prefer the fast forwarding. So all that said, let's get into this game on Fjords. Where are we at? 7 minutes. I don't think that's bad at all. Now, let me explain why I'm retreating on Fjords, right, guys? After I just showed you, I don't want to fast forward, but I don't think we have to pause here. We have a Hellcat, Jagdpanzer, Shinu, Cheeto, VK28105, and we also lost the South with the Shinu and T150s. I'm running away from here because I know at this point Jagdpanzer's hitting me as well, so I lost some HP to this guy. I'm realizing at this point that I have to take B1, B2 area. Leaf hits me here. It's these things, man. I got penned by one of these things on highway. 500 something damage and then lit on fire and killed. And I'm telling you, man, these things are so freaking OP, they're ridiculous. But you had to run away from here, guys, because all these enemies are pushing in. And though we cleaned up a couple people here, it's now going to be one of those situations where we have to try and bring this game back. I'm loading full APCRs, and we need to do damage here. So I'm going to hit this Hellcat a bunch of times here, and then I'm looking for other enemies. But this B2 or B1 location, I wanted to show you guys this because it's so powerful in bringing a game back, right? It's incredibly powerful of a position to take because the amount of games that I've brought back from this area, I would say maybe a dozen games at this point. Even at higher tiers, I have brought games back from this location because you're on the other side of this stream, this river. So in order for the enemy to get over here, a lot of people do now know that you can drive like this, but some don't, and they think the only way to get over there is to go over the bridge. You have such an advantage because you can pull back, go solid bush here, right? We're going to hit the VK a couple times. I think we're going to clean this guy up exclusively right here, okay? And you're at such an advantage because you're on the other side of this river. You can go solid push, and all these guys have to push in. There's nothing else they can do. They have to push in order to come after you here. And if they don't know that they can get there from this like A3 pocket and B3 pocket, they're just going to push right into you, and it makes it, it's an easy game, right? You just absolutely clean up. Like, we just entirely like deleted that M10 off the map, and now I'm loading the APs for the bishop. I'm going to keep hitting the bishop here, and you just pull forward so you can spot through the bushes, and then pull back so you're not spotted when you do take the shots through the bushes. Solid bush, right? And that's all you're doing. I mean, it's the easiest thing to do, right? As long as you understand the game mechanics. And look at this, like, we just melted the team off the map because they all pushed in, and we're at 2,065 damage. And again, this is why I tell you guys, like, there is no way that I would have brought this game back with the 3 centimeter. So when I'm put in this situation, I want to have the 5 centimeters so that I have the DPM and accuracy and all that to bring this game back. So we're going to start going after the leaf until I realize the Hellcat actually takes it. This is perfect because we left at the perfect time, right? I noticed the Hellcat pushed in through that area that I told you guys about. He went through the 3 squares, right? And went around like this, which you can do, and pushed up. So we left at the perfect time because as we're running away off, coming off the bridge here, the Hellcat appears. So it's a good thing that we were retreating at that time. And then I said, yo, Gorilla, don't die. That's kind of like a joke because I have 4 kills and did 2,200 damage over there. I'm like, hey, man, just stay alive. I'm going to need you for the leaf, maybe, because the leaf might shotgun me. So we're going to advance here. Again, I'm just going to go on 2 times to get there a little bit faster. But this is an uninformative part of the video, right? There's nothing for you guys to acknowledge here other than the fact that I'm going after the leaf in this manner, right? We're going this direction, and, this is the path we're taking. But other than that, there's really no other reason to show you guys, like, these 30, 45 seconds of the game, right? So we get here, we're going after the leaf, and he appears here. Like, look at that, man. Did you see where we spotted this guy? Now pause, because this is also somewhat important to game mechanics, right? So I'm going to pause and explain this. Dude, we were like right here when we spotted this guy. Basically a proxy, right? I have 460 view range. My view range without CVS is trying to go through multiple bushes here. We're basically not going to spot this guy until we pretty much proxy him, or until he only has 1 bush in front of him, basically, right? Without CVS. So you can see, like, the way these bushes are designed, like this, he has multiple bushes. This is why it's so tricky to play light tanks, and I swear, man, I swear to you, I explained this on Prokhorovka without CVS, and there's people that are saying, well, Whirls, or people that first watch my content. I wouldn't say that spotting is hard on Prokhorovka. It's actually very, very simple, I'm like, that's because you understand the game mechanics, my man. You understand how everything is working, so it is easy for you to understand, and it is easy for you to spot people. The point of my content is to show you guys things that you might not know. People that are like 49, 48, maybe even 45% win rate players, 50% win rate players. And I'm showing you guys the game mechanics just as much as I'm showing you the plays you need to make in a certain situation, right? But the game mechanics are important to learn as well. And I'm saying this on Prokhorovka. I'm like, it's tricky for light tanks to understand and to spot enemy tanks because without CVS, look, we basically had to proxy a leaf. The leaf doesn't really have like much concealment, to be honest with you guys. I know because I have one. It's not that great. I mean, when you're not moving, I guess it's okay, but it's not that great, man. It's not that great at all. And if you guys have one, let me know. But I know it's nothing close to what I have, say, on the Leopard, which is like 36, 37% camo. And I'm not even running low noise exhaust. But look what we had to do. We pretty much had to proxy this guy. If you're looking at my bubble down here, we pretty much had to proxy this guy because of the game mechanics. So for the people that comment on proc saying, oh, Whirls, proc is easy. It's easy to outspot enemy tanks. No, it's not, man. Unless you understand the game mechanics and or at higher tiers you're running CVS, it's really not that easy. Just the other day, or like literally yesterday, I was playing the Leopard, and an M8A1 and an IKV 103 got into the E1 bush area on Prokhorovka, and I couldn't outspot them from where I was. I know pretty much where they are, and I know the game mechanics, but I can't outspot them. Like, how am I going to outspot them, man? They're sitting in the E1, bush area. I don't have CVS, right? Eventually, I do go down the bush line. I was able to like sneak in there somehow. We were able to light them when they were like moving, but I'm just explaining this to you guys, right? I know a lot of you know this, but understand that if you are telling me like, oh, Prokhorovka's easy, then you already fully understand the game mechanics, and you're probably not going to get that much more informative content out of me. Like if you already know the game that well, where you're saying Prokhorovka is easy, which even I'd say Prokhorovka is tricky. Like even now, with how good I am, then you probably don't need my content. So I'm just throwing that out there, guys. But anyway, we come after the leaf here, and this is another slightly important thing. We do get behind the leaf here. See how we're ricocheting on him? You know, I'm just auto-locking. I'm not aiming, but this is why this tank is so trollish, man, because the way the armor is like angled, it's really weird. So you have to shoot it flat. You can't shoot it at an angle. This guy, I wanted to note, was trying to go into the water here. You got to be really careful. I made sure to get to the side of this guy, but this is a really good trick for him to do, because as I'm going down into the water, once you're submerged fully, you can't shoot the gun, right? So now we're in a situation where I'm trying to stay to the side of this guy, but I need to stay up high enough out of the water so that I can shoot. So if he times it perfectly and I'm next to him, he can actually push me kind of, you know, like to the side and then shoot me, right? Like in the very back corner of the tank. So this became somewhat nerve-wracking, because if I die here, then it's just the gorilla. But we're able to make it work. We kind of got to the side of this guy. I didn't want to stay behind him, because if I stay behind him, he could have just pushed me into the water pretty much. Even then, I don't know if he would have been able to, because the leaf's really slow, and I could have just, I have 10 seconds, right, to kind of like come back out like this, but then I'm going to be in front of him, right? And 305 HP, trust me, it's not enough against the leaf if he pens, because I've been penned for 500 before, right? And lit on fire. So he can basically one-shot me. So this is why I tell you guys, like, I freaking hate Artie sometimes, man, especially the leafs, because in this situation, if I get hit just once, I could die, because I don't have the armor. But we're able to make it work. We win this game, guys. It's a freaking 23,000 W&8 game, 2,576 damage, 667 assists, 4 spots, 5 kills. That's all. Let's get into the end plates. I know this game's been pretty long, but I really want to fully explain like how my content is and why it is that way, and why I present it to you guys in a specific manner, right? So Mastery, High Caliber, I think one of these was Pescucci's. I'm not sure. The other one maybe Orlick's or something like that. 2649, guys, 5 kills, 5 module damage as well, 667 assist. And then we're top here by experience by a long shot, right? Gorilla played a pretty good game. 011257. Interesting name, but hey, we'll go with it, man. And yeah, their Hellcat also did pretty well. I'm pretty sure the guy, Roots, AS Dog, I'm pretty sure this was the guy. It was somebody from the Roots clan. It might not have been this guy, but I think it was actually, that was in the IKV that I was just talking to you guys about. He was in the IKV 103 or 105. What the heck is that thing? A tier 5 IKV, and he was basically outspotting me from the E1 bush area on proc. I think it was that guy. So if you know him, shout out to him. He's a pretty good player, man. And then in that game, I YOLO'd him at the very, very end, and he ended up killing me. And we actually, it was a draw. Yeah, it was a draw, which kind of sucked. But we almost got it. My team just sucked, man. I had a T67 in the back that I'm telling you guys, like I spotted a tank in the distance, like I think it was a Hellcat or something like that. And I had him spotted for probably 2 minutes, and the T67 is just sitting back there, and I'm like, dude, are you a bot? Or like, what's going on? He's literally right in the middle of the bush line. I know you have shots. Like, just look, man, he's right there. And sometimes, man, at these lower tiers, you just get teammates that like don't even shoot. They're not even looking. They're like looking elsewhere, or like they're like on their phone or something while they're playing the game. I'm like, yo, are you guys even playing the game? Like, look, he's literally right in front of you. It's not like he's on to the left or to the right. He's literally right in front of your gun, like 300 meters away. Look in front of you and shoot. Like, I swear, man. I swear, guys. Like, the teams I get, man, when I'm trying to mark my tanks. But anyway, at this point in time, we were at 91.80%. Again, I told you guys I got up to like 94%. And this is how I'm running it, guys. The Tier 3 mobility system, bounty vents and bounty optics. That's how I've been running it. And we're currently at a 58% win rate over 226 battles at around 900 damage. I started at like 800 because, again, when I first played the Leopard, I wasn't as good of a player. Same thing with a lot of these vehicles, man. The ELC especially, like, this is a really low number. I was under 700 damage, and then I played this tank, like, I don't know, 60 battles or so in the last, like, 60 days, and my damage has gone up, like, insanely because of the way I play now, right? So even I have adjusted my play style over the last year or so, and I do aim to do a lot more damage than I used to. So here is the detailed report. I'm going to let you guys go. A lot of shots fired here. We lost a good amount of coin for shooting the APCRs, but I hope this is informative. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you're okay with my decision to, if I am going to fast forward, it's only going to be 4 times. And again, if you don't mind, or you don't, you know, the fast forwarding, you'd rather I not fast forward, or you'd rather I fast forward, it's going to be basically all the same for you, right? Because when I get to the informative parts of the video, I'm not fast forwarding anyway. So I hope that all makes sense. Hope you guys are cool with it. I will catch you for the next one. Take care of yourselves until then. Bye bye now.